You're now watching Winter Nightwolf Live, a Cliffside production.
OCO and greetings. I'm Winter Nightwolf, and this is Winter Nightwolf Live, Indigenous Peoples Reality Media. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's cold here. I couldn't believe how cold it got so quickly. But I have a special guest tonight who's been a friend for, I'd say maybe 20 years or more. Yeah, it's got to be somewhere like that. He's my brother and good friend, Michael BUCHER. And Michael BUCHER is a Cherokee singer and songwriter who has been taught from an early age the stories, the language, hardships, and strengths of his people. With the words and music of his award-winning songs, Michael BUCHER hopes to teach, heal, and bring awareness to everyone who hears them that we as a human family are all connected. So I am going to talk to my brother now. Michael, how are you?
I'm good, Jay. Good to see you.
You too, man. It's been too long. You know that, right?
It sure has. It sure has.
So after COVID, you know what we got to do, right?
I do.
So, Michael, how have you been?
It'll be good.
Yeah, how have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been fine, actually. What I've been up to, my wife and I, we celebrated our 49th anniversary, and just living life. She just recently retired, and just last week, actually. And yeah, we're just sitting here living a dream, I guess, as they say. But yeah, so not been up to much with COVID. COVID's kind of locked everything down. So
exactly. Michael, we've known each other a very long time, and I've always known that you personally have been very much involved in the plight of our people here in the United States. What do you see for Native people? You know, we got this crazy administration going out of the White House. Some folks want to call it the big house. And now we've got another person coming in, Joe Biden. Our people have suffered for a very long time, you know. But like black people and everybody else, for white people under this administration, none of us have done well. None of us have fared well. What are your thoughts?
When you talk to people in Indian country, let's go back 4 years, and we remember where it was 4 years ago, and everything that we thought we had progressed to felt like it was just pulled out from everybody's, blanket. It was just gone, or so much was gone. So much was removed intentionally by the new administration. Land, monuments, you name it. But again, you talk to Indian people, and they're not immune to this, and it's not like they don't have feelings about it. But it's like, here we go again. It was that toughness that I think reverberated in me. That's like, get used to it. This is the way it goes. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's just how it was. So with the new administration, now we'll fast forward to this. I feel that Indian country is ready for another 1 or 2 steps forward. I haven't, in my memory of administrations, seen so many people of all ethnicities being introduced, not necessarily accepted yet, but introduced to high level positions. And I think Indian country is taking notice, and we can see that there are Native people included, Indian people are included in that administration, and it's a good feeling.
Well, you know, Deb Haaland's has been vetted for Secretary of Interior, which I really hope she gets it. And there's quite a few. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I just said me too. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that others will be chosen. But you know, one thing that stuck with me about the Obama-Biden administration was those were the first guys that brought the tribal summit to the White House. And from what I'm hearing from some inside people is that Biden is going to bring the summit back to the White House. That was the very first time in the history of these United States that we had a seat at the table at the White House, even though it was one day of a year, but at least we got to go there.
Yes. Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. I
Go ahead.
Okay, it's a wonderful thing. I think anybody in Indian country will remember President Obama dancing with the Crow people and the headdress and all of that. We celebrated that. It was immense. It was absolutely immense to be recognized with dignity, with honor, and with respect. It was just monumental. And so I really do believe that's where we're heading in the future, in the current or the future administration.
I remember when Obama went out to the Pine Ridge and all of those pictures of him with those little children on his knee, you know, that was so wonderful to see that finally somebody, the head of the United States of America, had the audacity, as he would always say, to visit Indian country in a good way. And that did a lot for me inside.
I agree 100%. The audacity. That was a good word, Jay. Awesome word, because that's how it was viewed. Absolutely. That's how it was viewed. How dare you do something like that? And that, yeah, that's the hope for the future, man, that we can, you know, that the new administration will acknowledge and hold us up again, hold everybody up. You know, it's not, it's all of us, you know, all minorities, everybody gets held up. That's the way it should be. I mean, we're such a diverse country as it is. It should be normal to think that way. But like you said, how dare you have the audacity to think that way? So I think we're going in the right direction.
You know, I stop and I think about how our people, Native people, have been all but forgotten. And you wrote a song that just took me over the moon when I first heard it. Don't Forget About Me. Okay, I'm going to ask you a favor. Do you have your guitar close by?
I do.
You got that Martin sitting over there?
Well, it's not a Martin, it's a Takamine, man. But to me, it sounds like a Martin. So yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay, would you do us the honor of playing that song for us live?
It is my honor, Jay. It is my honor. Thank you, brother.
Okay, everybody, this is Michael Busher, my brother and my friend, playing one of his original award-winning songs, Don't Forget About Me. Take your time, Michael.
Thank you, Jay. I'm the one who is painted on the rock in the desert sun. I'm the one who is buried with the smallpox blanket on the run. I'm the one who has built my burial mound for all to see. Never dreaming that the grave robber's prize would be me. Don't forget about me, I'm the voice singing in your head. Don't forget about me, I told the stories that you have. Don't forget about me, take notice of all they do. 'Cause if they do it to me, who's to say they won't do it to you? I'm the one who is buried with my heart at wounded knee. I'm the one who is tossed in the ditch on the trail of tears. I'm the one who is buried with my medicine bag in my hand. Now my medicine is on display on some collector's stand. Yeah, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Oh, oh, I'm the one who's seen all the genocide firsthand. They couldn't keep me fast enough to take what I did. And now they're building trophy houses right on top of my grave. Oh, if they had no honor, well, then they had no strength. Don't forget about me, I'm the voice singing in your head. And don't forget about me, I told the stories that you have. Don't forget about me, take notice of all they do. Oh, 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 if they do it to me, who's to say they will do it to you?
Thank you, Michael. Okay,
Thank you, Jay.
that was great.
Thank you, brother.
Michael, you're welcome, bro. What was your inspiration to writing that song? How did that come to your head?
What came to me, actually, it was several stories that I had been reading and still read in our native newspapers, native magazines. And what started it was a whole line of petroglyphs and rock paintings, carvings, had been blown off the face of the mountain by a high-powered rifle. And then the rest were covered with, they shot with paintballs, just gone. They were completely ruined. And these are parts of Indian history that are gone. They're completely gone. Will never to be had again. And so that was the basis of it. It was like something has to be done. We can't forget about our ancestors, our ancestors who I believe still talk to us. That's where our wisdom comes, our stories come from, our history, our language, everything comes from our ancestors. And we can't forget that. We can't forget when we see that in our native newspapers and magazines of a petroglyph that's ruined. We can't forget that. We can't take it lightly. We have to do something. When we see our burial mounds, our Indian burial mounds are, this is fact, I'm not exaggerating, anybody can look it up. 75% of Indian burial mounds and grave sites have been desecrated. Now, there's no one, I don't care what ethnicity or what religion, anything that you are, would like, I don't even know what the right adjective is or adverb, to have your family's cemetery dug up by looters, by people who are just looking for paraphernalia or trophies that they're looking for. And so all of that, it was such a huge ball of, I want to say anger, but it was anger, compassion, but remembering our ancestors and not to forget. And if we can do that, I think we can then educate. And when I play that song live, I explain that. And I can't tell you how many responses I get from people who say, I never looked at it that way. If somebody were to dig up my grandfather's cemetery, or my, cemetery, my grave site, or my grandfather's, or whoever, that's when they start understanding. When you put it on their terms, what, a term that they can grasp. And that's what helped.
Well, Michael, you've been to Maryland and DC. You've appeared here quite a few times. And I know you are familiar with the Piscataway people of Maryland.
Yeah.
The Chief Billy Tyack, who I call Uncle Billy, is a very, very close friend of mine. And I asked him, we got to talking about grave robbers, robbing native graves. He said, well, you know what, Nightwolf, I tell you what we should do. I said, what's that? He said, we need to go and dig up their graves and let them know that we're going to dig up their graves. I said, well, how are we going to justify it? He said, well, I want to go dig their graves up and make sure that they really had syphilis. I said, what? He said, yeah, because that was one of the major killers of our people, along with other dirty stuff that he brought over here, was venereal diseases, because we had no immunity to any of those diseases, common colds, the flu, or anything. We didn't know anything about that. He said, that is what the European invaders brought here. So, let's serve them some of their own medicine. Let's go dig up their graves.
Yeah, that's a eye for an eye type thing. But again, you know what would happen? We would get caught, and then we'd be in jail.
Yeah, but they can go and do it to us with impunity. How about that?
That's the problem. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
Michael, you have been fighting for Native rights for years. And I'm going to ask you some questions. Water is life. Your feelings on that one. And the DAPL pipeline. What are your thoughts on that?
A lot. I have probably more time than we have to talk tonight, but I'll try and keep it as brief as I can.
This is a Michael Busher interview. You got the floor.
Okay, so water is life. That is just those words. People right off the bat would think, yeah, whatever. but you could not be more exact. There's nothing, not one human and plants, animals that can live without the existence of water. We are all done without water. So water is life. To underscore that and turn it into a radical leftist agenda, or whatever they might want to call it, is so absurd in my view, and in all of Indian country's view, because we understand the importance of clean water, of drink, water you can drink, potable water. And then to turn it against us, I think, is the way I viewed it. When I said 4 years ago, when we first started talking in this interview, I had said, go back 4 years. That's what I was talking about. Water is life. The whole pipeline issue. What is the first thing that happened when, within 2 days after the administration took over, pipeline was going through, period. Get out of the way. We don't give a damn about your grave sites. We don't give a, which they did. The Indian people told them, you're coming straight across our grave sites. It was bulldoze away, go for it, and then they did. They hit them. Seemed not to matter to anybody except to us. And of course, I had to write a song about that. Well, I wrote a song about water, and I wrote a song called Let It Rain, which was my song, my protest song to the pipeline. And it's such a, I don't know, it's a travesty. But
Yes,
to say they're going to, reverse all of that, it's not going to happen.
Okay, Michael, would you like to play that song? And before you play that song, Michael, I need you to give us a website or an email address or something, so that folks that are listening to this and this music and watching this presentation today could possibly get your music. So what is your website, or what is your email address?
Yeah, I actually, let's go back again. In 2015, January of 2015, I had a table saw accident, and I lost a lot of fingers on my right hand. So I stopped because I had no idea where the future was going to go musically or anywhere else. Not in my music, my life, everything was turned completely upside down. So maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I had taken my website down, took my Facebook page down, and thought, I'm done as a musician. I'm not going to tour anymore. I'm not going to pursue it. I'm going to let this is what I thought. There's so many powerfully great kids coming up, Indian kids, musicians, artists, you name it. They're out there. And I'm an old guy now, so it's time. That's what I thought. It's time to let their voices be heard.
You're not old, Michael.
So that's why I did all that. But so we can use different avenues now. Go ahead.
When you had that accident, I was one of the first ones to call you and get on your case about, I can't do this anymore. Why did I do that? Because I saw who you are. I saw your heart. I knew you. And it took a while to get back in the saddle, though. But I was standing there to make sure that you could hold on to the reins. And you came back. this is not over for you, Michael. I know what you're saying that you get. No, no. Not as long as I got breath in my body and you're still my brother. Because after this COVID is over, Michael, I'm going to make sure that the world can hear Michael Busher again. I guess we're going to have to get out there and fight in your yard, but that's okay because I can fight. But on a serious note, until then, you got an email address or something the folks can write you, that can get your music from you? Okay. Give us your email address.
Yeah. Sure. It is 7, the number 7 clans. Just like all Cherokee or most Indian people have 7 clans. So it's 7 clans, CLANS 77 at gmail.com.
Cool. I'll remember that. But folks, if you want to, catch up with Michael and his music, you can always email me, and that's jwinternightwolf at gmail.com, and I will put you in touch with this man. This music is amazing. Okay, Michael, get ready. Give me a song.
Well, wait. No, I can't. Honestly, I can't. My voice is pretty much gone. If you got anything queued up, you can play anything. I'll tell you all about whatever song you might have queued up. But if I continue, I'm not used to singing anymore, man.
I'm going to take a slow train up to Wisconsin. And you and I are going to have it out. But I understand. Okay. So, Michael, what are your hopes and desires for the young Native musicians that are coming behind you? What do you see? And what should they be writing songs about,
Well, my hope, and I think us as elders hope, we wish nothing but the best for our youth. So my hope is they just stay true to themselves. They stay true to the music, true to their culture, and can, however they put their music out there, it doesn't matter what genre. We all see in any country so many genres that are blues, R&B, country, hip hop. It's all good. They're covering all the genres, and they're doing it. So many of them are doing it in such a great way with positive messages. I like positive messages, or at least something that will end positively. The song might start out dark, but what hopefully ends positive, uplifting, to let others know, hey, we've been through the mud, we've been dragged through it. Just, even though they're young, we all know Indian country, you get dragged through the mud early, but you stand up, you shake it off, and you continue. And so if they can help even the younger generations, the kids, the small kids coming up, and be an inspiration, everything that I hope for them, the positivity, the inspirations, they're doing it. I mean, you can look across the board, like I said, all the different genres. It's wonderful to see so many kids. I don't want to name drop, but there's a lot of good dancers, hoop dancers. They're all across everything. It's just wonderful to see. Powwow, they're still carrying on everything. That's my message, but and my hope anyway. But they're following the message. I do believe they're doing very well.
You had an opportunity to travel all over Indian country when you were out there with your music. What are some of the most memorable places that you went to, and some of the people that you met there, you want to talk about? Share that with us, bro.
Sure. Yep. There's a couple that stand out in my mind. Not early on, I was already into my music, was doing pretty well. I had already gotten kind of into the main part of the music business, and I was playing Indian Summer Festival in Milwaukee. It's the largest native or Indian festival this side of the Mississippi. It's huge. It's huge in Milwaukee. Oh, it's wonderful. It's when I say it's huge, I mean it encompasses a large piece of real estate right along Lake Michigan. So,
Right.
and there's vendors, there's 3 stages of music. It's a great place. Okay, so I'm there and I'm playing and I'm doing my last song, which is You're Not Alone. And I looked up and people are singing with me. And that was when my moment, that was in my heart. And it was so cool because I realized the people who were singing with me, I lost my spot where I was singing, but then I could just catch up with them and I got right back up. And it's like, wow, that was pretty darn cool. But then the second one was the inaugural ball. In 2008, I played the inaugural ball with Joanne Shenandoah and a lot of other musicians. Bill Miller was there. Yeah, and that was huge for me too, to play inaugural ball. But then in 2012, I was asked to headline that ball, and that's when that was like the epitome. It was like, are you kidding me? So that was, and you were there, Jay, and you were there on all of them, man. You were the powwow guy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you were surprised when you looked up and there I was standing right in front of you off stage and doing like this at you, and you looked at me and like said, "Oh my God, my brother is here." And you know those cool sunglasses?
That is exactly right, Jay.
Those cool sunglasses that you wear? I know you wonder what happened to that pair you had when you came to visit me at my house. I got them. You left mine now.
I've got more.
Yeah, I know. Michael, let's go to one other subject that is really dear to my heart. Our young people coming up behind us, education. It is so important for our young leaders that are coming up behind us to go and get education. Even though the story of our people has been left out of most educational institutions since they started these colleges and even high schools, junior high schools, elementary schools. There is no native history, the history of the original people of this continent. It's not there. What are your thoughts on that? I think we talked about that before.
We did. It's a sad truth is what it is, but it is the truth. And I don't even know where to begin, because I can't imagine that they are suddenly going to start writing new history books that will include the real truth and the real history, the real massacres, the real inhumanity, the reality of what really happened. It is so shocking. And maybe in more higher education they will, but can you imagine when we were in grade school, reading of the blankets that were given out that were infected with smallpox intentionally? German warfare at its best. So I think the United States, or whoever writes the history books, if nothing else, education department, needs to acknowledge that all of that happened, and accept it, maybe even apologize for it, and then educate and say, yeah, we really were ruthless then. We're trying to be better now. Whether they are not, but at least educate non-Indians about the reality of the beginning of this country.
What really happened?
Exactly.
That's well,
Yes, it
Michael,
is.
hmm, and you know, it's very hard for guys and women our ages that are Native people to try to explain to our young people that have no knowledge of what really happened to us. It's hard to explain it to them. Now, my grandkids, I taught them what happened to them when they were little tiny things. So, you know, you
Mhm.
couldn't fool them. But you got so many kids that are running around here that are Native kids, Native and Black kids, um, you know, the Blendians and Native kids that have white blood and all of that. They don't know the first thing about what happened to our people and how we got to be here. All we know is that it's so unfair how they treat Indians. Well, give me a break. They've been doing that for over 500 years. Nothing new to us. It's just that they try to hide it, you know. Comment on that, bro, or whatever. Go ahead.
I, as you're saying that, it makes me think of Pocahontas. Now, and you're saying Indian people, which Indian kids don't even understand or know the history. And you look at the story of Pocahontas that that you see on the kids. I don't know how, if I can say a specific producer of Pocahontas, but there's the cartoons that are out there and the movies that are out there and all of that. And so Indian kids believe that. They think, or not all, but some believe that Pocahontas was this beautiful fairy tale, and that was the reality when it nothing could be further than the truth of what really happened to Pocahontas. And I don't know how to inner city Indian kids, if they're not taught by their elders and by their parents, then it's just what they learn on the street, which is not much, and nothing is factual. So that's a bump in the road that I don't know how we're gonna, it's a sore spot. I don't even
Do
know
you,
how to
do you
get
mind,
past it.
you mind if I tell a very brief story about Matoka Pocahontas?
No, go
Her name
ahead.
was Pocahontas, who was Matoka. She was the daughter of the chief Wahum Shinakawa from the Powhatan Confederacy. The Powhatan Confederacy on the East Coast of Virginia were a combination of many tribes that came together to be able to fight off this white man that came across here, the Atlantic Ocean, and tried to take everything from us. And there were fights. Wahum Shinakawa had captured quite a few of these white colonizers, and they captured Matoka, aka Pocahontas, and held her hostage for their brothers. Well, they went to him and said, look, we got your daughter. So if you want her back, you have to release our men. He said, okay, not a problem. He kept his end of the bargain, but they did not. They took her out on the boat, the big ship they were on, far enough out that nobody could see the boat from land. And all of those sailors on that boat had their way with her sexually. That's the true story. And there's a lot more to it. She ended up marrying one of those guys and going to Europe. And when she died, they didn't bring her back here. They buried her somewhere in England. But that truth, you never will hear it anywhere else. And Michael, a lot of us are talking about racism, uh, white supremacy. That's become a vocabulary phrase that's being used so often. And I want to know, Michael, has there been any racism towards you in the music industry, in your career in the music industry?
Honestly, none that I have witnessed. And I think the reason being, my music is focused in Indian country, so I'm playing for Indian people. Now, the larger venues, like I had mentioned, Indian Summerfest in Milwaukee, they have it's hundreds of thousands of people that come in there. But the people who come there, the non-native people, non-Indian people who come in there, are appreciative. They're not racist. They come to learn. They come to appreciate, and they come year after year for that reason. So, no, I cannot say that I've ever met any form of racism in that circle, the circle that I was in. As a performer, or anything, there was always respect. So yeah, luckily that worked.
I got two people that I see them on the screen. They're saying hello to you and I, Manuel Rodriguez and Wes Coleman. We acknowledge you guys. Thanks for watching tonight. So Michael,
hey Manny, I remember Manny, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, Michael, we've got like maybe 7 or 8 minutes left. And give your email address again where people can get in touch with you and any closing thoughts that you may have. And I want to let you know, bro, you will be back. Okay? So this is not a one-time interview. I'm not playing this.
All right. All right. So my email is 7clans77@gmail.com. And my final thoughts are, well, first, I want to thank you so much. Jay, you have to know, I haven't performed live in almost 3 years. You are the first one who talked me into it. That was it, man. I thought I was not going to do this live anymore. And I did it for you. You're my brother. But you would talk me into it. It's like, because at first I'm saying, I don't know. It's like, so I thank you for that.
Twisted your arm.
And you did. So it was that was a long time coming for me to play that song live. And I guess final thoughts is I appreciate what you're doing as far as keeping people informed with the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. And I know you personally, you are about truth. And if the truth hurts, it still has to be told. It can't be buried, can't be hidden, can't be candy coated. It has to be told as it is. And that's what I love about you, Jay. You don't, I'm not going to use street vernacular here, but you don't mess around. and you nail it, man. You just nail it. And I appreciate that. Your listeners appreciate that. And I really, really do appreciate what you do. And I appreciate Leslie for what she does. She just steps right in, boom. Iona, Verona. It's like, how cool is that you have these people?
She had the nerve to bring this old Indian to the television sets.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, it's we might be getting old, but we're still moving forward, man.
You got that right. As long as I can put one in front of the other, I'm still going. I got a.
That's right.
Somebody bought me a sweatshirt. It's got a big old bad wolf on the front of it, and it says, "Before you go any further, this is not the day, and I am not the one." Sounds familiar, right?
Yes, it does.
I'll find out where this shirt came from, and I'm gonna get you one, bro. And I'm gonna say, this is not the day, and I ain't the one. Yeah,
I love it, man. I love it.
Michael, I love you, man, and let's talk again, real. Well, I got your telephone number again, so I will be talking to you real soon. You don't answer the phone, I'm gonna walk to Wisconsin from Washington D.C. and find out what the problem is.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good, Jay.
Okay, we'll talk to you again, Michael. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Jay. Wado, brother.
Wado, Canada, go ahí. That was one of my very, very good and close friends for years. Um, when he came out with his first album, when I was on a radio station, I introduced his music to the world. When his second CD came out, I introduced his music to the world. When his third CD came out, he told me, I don't want anybody ever, as long as you're living and you're talking, to introduce my music to the world but you. So when all you can do is tell the truth, that's all you can do. Just tell the truth. I watched a commercial just yesterday, the governor of Maryland, about this COVID-19. And he mandated that if you go outside or anywhere in public in the state of Maryland, you must put on a mask. And his final words after he gave his spiel was, just wear the damn mask. I don't know if any of you out here in television land had the experience that I had at the beginning of this COVID virus. My baby sister, the day before she turned 65, died from COVID. I have a host of people that I know personally that are no longer here. If you go outside, just wear the damn mask. What's the problem? Do you care about only yourself? You don't wear the mask, that tells me you don't care about yourself. Because you can get that virus and it can kill you. Think about people around you, people that you say you love, people that you say you like, people that are associated with you on a daily basis. Wear the mask. That's not too much to ask of you. So please consider others when you step out of your house. Wear the mask. We as Indian people have had to deal with so much tragedy over the past 500 years. Countless massacres, countless genocidal practices against us, the murder of our children, the stealing of our children, putting them in these boarding schools. And when they got there, they cut their hair, dressed them up in European clothing, and told them that if you speak your language, we will beat you. If you speak your language, we will wash your mouth out with soap. And the things that they did to our children in these boarding schools, these priests that ran these boarding schools, raped our little boys, raped our little girls. And they got the nerve to hold a cross up in front of you and tell you you must bow down to this. I don't think so. Sorry. Ain't happening. They have polluted our waters. They have polluted more than water. They've polluted the land, the air. And yet and still, they want to keep making a profit when even their own people, their own color of people, are dying from this too. Wear the mask. This turn around, but it's not going to turn around unless you're conscientious enough to know the dangers of this COVID-19 or coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. This, to me, is no more than the continuation of a genocidal practice that they used on us when they first came over here. They introduced germ warfare in a blanket, smallpox. And every time there's a global issue with some kind of a virus, the Spanish flu, AIDS, all of that, who are the people that are most affected by it or infected by it? People of color. So we need to know what's coming down the pike next. Just wear the mask. Wash your hands as often as you go out the house. Wash your hands when you come back in. We don't have advertised, but I will tell you this, and I hope I don't get in trouble for it. I got lots of cans of Lysol around my house. I come in, spray my clothes down. Spray your cell phone. These viruses and infections can live on surfaces. Be careful about who you let use your phone. Okay, so the lecture is over, and I'm stepping out of the pulpit. Until we talk again, remember this. Grandpa used to always say this. Your brother don't have to necessarily look like you to be your brother. So all white people are not bad, just like all Indians are not good. And all black folks are not good. Dr. King said, judge me by the content of my character and not by the color of my skin. It's not about the pigmentation of your skin or the color of your eyes or the texture of your hair. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not about who you worship and call God. Do you know what it's really all about? Whether you're a Buddhist, a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew, or whatever, what it's all about is how you treat my heart. Talk to you again next week. Same place, same time. Danada, go ahí, wado.